So in this video, I'm going to talk about the process of making this painting, which is all about sunlight. More specifically, sunlight hitting your face on a cold day. But while I'm showing you that, I'm going to talk about something else. I'm going to talk about the difference between drawing and painting. People often talk about painting and drawing as two separate disciplines. Like they're miles apart, like painting and sculpture. Actually, that's quite close. Painting and dance, painting and cinema. To me, they are much, much closer. And so that's what I'm going to be musing on a little bit during this video, while also talking about the process of making this painting. Pishak. Wow, bet you thought that was going to be a dog.
Mr. Neil Conning painting.
So you might be thinking that what I said there in that intro isn't quite right. Neil, nobody thinks that drawing and painting are miles apart. And I suppose that's true. I mean, people do think they're relatively close. They're maybe not quite as different as painting and cinema. I mean, I think that was maybe a bit over the top. But people do think of them as different. People do seem to think that drawing is a separate thing to painting. And I can be good at drawing, but not good at painting. Or good at painting, but not good at drawing. You say, work on your drawing, work on your painting. To me, they're much, much, much closer. And actually, I'll go further than that. I would actually argue that painting is a subcategory of drawing. Now, that will make the painting purists angry. I know it will, because painting is elevated, has an elevated status. If you buy an oil painting, you'll pay more than you paid for a drawing, because it has this aura, this mythical quality. But you see here, me making marks with a stick with some hair and some colourful paint on the end. Now, why is that so different if I had a stick with a piece of graphite on the end or ink? I mean, at what point does drawing become painting? Is it just that drawing has lots of little lines and painting has bigger patches, more blobby? That doesn't seem right to me either, because I can get a piece of vine charcoal and put it on its side and use that to draw. Nobody thinks I'm painting now, it's still drawing. Or I could be on the beach and use my foot sideways to make a big drawing, and people will still call that drawing in the sand. I actually think that drawing is something deeper than people give it credit for. If you think about the word drawing, or to draw, it has this other meaning to it that we all know about and we all use it. You draw blood, you draw a chair by the fire, you draw the curtains, you draw something out of someone. So it means to kind of pull, to kind of extract, but also translate. And I think that is the deep meaning of what drawing is to take a subject and draw something out of it that you translate onto paper or canvas or the wall of a cave 10,000 years ago. It's an extraction, it's the pulling out. That's the deep meaning of drawing. It's not just a technical act, it's this idea that there's something there, there's something beyond what you can just see, and drawing brings it to light. And so painting too is drawing. Of course it is. I'm drawing something out, and this work here is all about trying to draw out this idea of sunlight hitting a face. Try to do that through colour, temperatures, chroma, warm and cold reds, but also this expression, smiling into the sunlight. What prompted me to even make this video about this was I often do a pencil drawing underlay, but I didn't for this. I just went straight in and drew with the brush, which got me thinking about this idea Well, actually, somebody asked me why I did that in this case and not in other cases. And it's because I don't really think about it. I just think I think I did do a drawing, right? I did do a drawing. I just used the brush instead of the pencil. The act is kind of largely similar. Or any differences that it has, there's no difference between different pencils I have or different bits of art equipment. So fundamentally, I think drawing is the big thing we all do in art, in representation. Drawing is the thing where we pull something out. That's the big fish, you know. I once saw David Lynch, the filmmaker, come to Edinburgh and give a talk. And the talk was about transcendental meditation, which is a bit disappointing to me because I kind of wanted it to be more about talking about his films. So I was less into the transcendental meditation as a technique and more interested in what he got out of it. And he would talk about this catching the big fish. You know, the big idea is worth persevering to catch the big idea. And for me, this idea of what drawing is, that's the big fish. And once I started thinking that way, I kind of relaxed with everything. Because I thought I already knew about drawing. So if I already know about drawing, then maybe I know more about painting than I thought. I don't do sculpture, but maybe I know more about sculpture than I thought too. But fundamentally, I want to make the point that, you know, I'm not talking down painting. Obviously not. I love painting. I love painting so much. I'm talking up drawing. I'm saying that there's something deeper to the idea of drawing to me. And I find that an exciting thing to think. I find it a liberating thing to think. And I'm always looking for ways of thinking about things. There's a kind of liberation. Especially when we start to cross categories. People get so wedded to categories. Well, I'm this and not that. I like it when we can see ideas that bridge things. And to me, this idea of the word drawing, and when you think about it, what it reveals, I think it starts to bridge categories. But anyway, this painting, right? So this has been building up in the background as I've been talking. And I really like this painting, I have to say. You know, in some ways it's kind of a dull composition, right? Like kind of completely face on, straight on face. But there's something really kind of lovely about it. We all recognize that moment, right? When it's kind of cold winter day and the sun hits our face and you feel that warmth of the sunlight. That's a special wee moment. So I wanted to try capture that. In many ways, this painting's quite similar to another painting I did probably about a year ago. It's someone I know from the Canyo group that I've mentioned before, known as Dash. I think her name's Dasha. But she lives in Canada, and she'd shared this photo, which was just a kind of, you know, it looked like a screenshot from a FaceTime call, you know, from that kind of angle. And I liked it because it was one of these images that could only be from now. You know, who would take a photo like that? It's only this kind of, you know, you see people walking and FaceTiming. It was like that. And I just kind of liked the immediacy of it. And I thought it'd be interesting to capture that in oil paint, which is a medium without immediacy. Anyway, but the two have a kind of similar vibe, you know, with the sky, the kind of bright blue sky framing the head. So in a way, these are kind of sister paintings. But at this point of the painting, I realised I had a bit of a problem. So I don't know if you can see that, but I really noticed that, hey, the composition is just a wee bit off. The head, you know, it's face on. It should be in the centre, but it's not. I got it a wee bit off. I got it a wee bit wrong, a wee bit off centre. Now, if this had been a painting on a stretch canvas, that could be actually quite a big problem. I'd have to sort of live with it, introduce something else, or maybe take it off the stretcher bars and reposition it. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. But in this case, it's quite handy. It's on paper. I mean, a nice watercolor paper that I've heavily primed and prepared. But this meant I was able to just trim the edge off. So I just put the tape on to just kind of hold that idea. I knew I could trim it later, but I wanted to be able to see where it looked like centered. And after that, I was really just going back in and giving a wee bit more definition to this scarf. You know, it was kind of important to get the sense of to give a sense of the cold day, and at the same time, I also really like the sky wasn't blue enough. Not only was the sky not blue enough, there's something nice in that Dasha painting where that slippage of the sky into the figure. So I wanted to have a bit more of that too. It's not just to create some kind of stylistic effect. I think it creates the idea of being outside, being in the environment, in the cold. Something like that. So just bringing some of those blues down into here just kind of brought it all together a little bit for me, and yeah, I think it worked. So that's it. That's the finished piece. I think there's a lot successful about it. I was pleased that I kept going through the layers, and there's something nice about the skin tones that came out of it. There's a kind of a more milky wash over some of the higher chroma bits. I think it was good. A varnish paintings, obviously. And I use Gamvar, as you can see. This is kind of great stuff. This isn't an ad, by the way, but this is great stuff. You might have heard that you have to wait 6 months to a year to varnish a painting. But when you use Gamvar, you can do it after a couple of weeks. I'm not sure what the chemistry behind this is, but I mean, it is so helpful. I'm not sure what I would do otherwise. It's kind of amazing what happens when you varnish a painting. It's like HD juice. It really is the most satisfying bit when you bring it back to life.
So I hope you enjoyed that little video, those little musings on painting and drawing, but also this painting I was working on, sunbasking, I called it. So I sold that painting after I posted it on Instagram, and it's just a wee reminder that the paintings are for sale. So if there is anything you like, go have a look. It's not going to do any harm. Right, I've got to get back to a wee commission. It's a film scene. I've got to get it done before Christmas, which is like getting pretty close. I mean, I've got presents to buy too. As an aside, I can't believe how well the sketchbook tours have done. I really can't. So I've had a few people ask me, Neil, why are there no process videos of your sketchbook drawings? And the reason for that was just simply that I didn't quite have the setup, like the camera, it's on a tripod, I paint like that, but I kind of draw on my lap or out and about or on the table, so it's like quite hard to film it. Anyway, I've set up a little situation that's going to allow me to do it. So I recorded something today, so there's going to be some sketchbook videos coming up. I don't know if I'll time-lapse those or just cut them up. We will see. Anyway, look, thanks for watching. Always happy to have you here. We're always happy to have you here, aren't we? Aye, we're always happy. So, come again. See you later.